Hickok 45 here. Welcome to the Hickok 45 Talks channel. Remember, you're on a different channel. Doesn't really matter, but you are. Where I just talk. Oh yeah, one more visit to the clips versus magazine debate. Yeah. Does your magazine hold enough clips or vice versa and all that? I saw a comment not long ago. Oh yeah, I think I wrote it down. It said, or pasted it, said, worrying about clip versus magazine is just being a dick so that one can feel superior to others. Thinking about that or making a, differentiating between the two is just so you can feel superior to other people. I think that probably comes from the same level of sophistication as the person who says the only reason someone spends $2,000 for a gun is because they can show it off or because they're a snob or whatever. You got that same mentality, and it reveals it, unfortunately. But anyway, back to clips and magazines. It's a different issue in a lot of ways. Clips and magazines. Someone who is, I guess, kind of new to firearms, or they dabble in firearms, but they and their circle of friends that they shoot with, they're not, I don't want to insult anybody, they're just not very far along the trail or the journey into the firearms world. I don't know, not as aware, and some of them have called it interchangeably clip or magazine, and they don't think anything about it, and there's no one ever around to correct them. But then they go online and they see that some of us will just do a video on that topic, having a little fun with it, but do a video on the topic or a comment on a forum or something. And so they go, what? You're making a big deal out of that? That's stupid. You're just trying to act superior, or something. It gives you a way to feel smarter than me and that kind of thing. And I don't know, maybe it is. It's just that there is a difference. And people who have been around firearms pretty much, you begin to learn the difference. And then if you're around other people who know a lot about firearms and have a lot of experience in firearms, they know the difference, and they might mention it to you or call you out on it, or they're using it correctly, put it that way. Most people that are really into firearms use the terms correctly if they're really experienced, and that's a lot of it. You take a new shooter or someone new to firearms and they start hanging out with people like that, you just pick up. It wouldn't matter what it is, if it's the area of computers or photography or brain surgery or whatever, you kind of learn the jargon, and you learn the facts of what things are called properly, And then you may choose not to, but at least you're aware of it, and you know that the people in your area, could be in airplanes, that's your thing, or whatever it is, people who know it, they know that area, really knowledgeable. Generally, the terms they use and how they talk about things is pretty accurate. Now, you might think they're a little nerdy, and there may be some areas of it where they are a little bit over the edge. They're a little too nerdy about it. Like one of mine, like that would be making it a point to always pronounce, Garan, because that's the way he pronounces his name or something. And everybody calls it a Garan, so I don't want to worry about it. But anyway, clip versus magazine, there is a difference. It's not that people are looking for a way to feel superior. It's not that. If it were, I would correct people. I've never corrected anybody. New shooters or some relatives at my place visiting or something. I don't think I've ever corrected or brought that up. They called it a clip or whatever. They're not going to be necessarily into shooting in a big way. It's not going to matter. It just confuse them, and it's why bother. I don't need to feel superior, and nobody really that has been in firearms for a long time, hardly anybody, is going to use that to feel superior, to feel smarter. It's not that kind of tool. It's not a weapon to beat people up with. knowing what something is called. It's really more just a reflection of somebody's knowledge of firearms. And what's a good analogy? Give me a good analogy. Yeah, I don't know. Uh, so again, a clip is not the same as a magazine, and there are a few where it gets a little blurry, maybe like with an M-block clip or something in a grade, but there's a difference, and that 30 round magazine you're sticking in your AR-15, if you're calling that a clip, well, and here's the thing, it's always been my point. You can call it what you want, obviously, and most people are not going to correct you and not make a big deal out of it. It's just, but here's a fact. Here's a fact for you, though, just to think about. If you're around people who are experienced shooters, you're at the range or wherever you might be, and you call it a clip. You say, "Oh yeah, I've just got one clip left for my AR, whatever your shooter, or my Glock or something." You call it a clip. It screams very loudly that you're an absolute novice with firearms. Now, whether you like that or not, I'm just the messenger. Okay, I'm not judging you, but it just shouts very loudly that you are interested in firearms, but you're back there somewhere and you just have a ways to go. That's what it tells people. That's what it tells people. So as long as you're okay with that, keep calling that AR-15 or that Glock magazine a clip to your heart's desire. It's not a problem. We shooters tend to be a little contrarian anyway, a little independent. Just call it what you want. Just be aware of that. You will not earn the respect, maybe, of some people that whose respect you'd like to have in terms of knowledge. Okay, so there you go. CLIP is one of them, and the other one is MAGAZINE. They're not the same. I'm sorry to inform you of that. I'm sorry to remind you of that, and you don't have to feel bad about it. If you're vague about the difference, it's pretty easy to learn the difference, but there is a difference. I'll tell you what it's like before I leave. It's a little bit like, as I've said, with grammar. I was one of those English teachers, as most of you know by now. I would tell my students, look, you can use improper grammar. I mean, some really obvious improper grammar, like you could eliminate all the past participle verbs. I should have went there, and all that kind of thing. You can say what you want. You can use whatever language you want. But if you're in a job interview or you're somewhere around people who know the difference, it jumps out. It may not make any difference. I don't judge people on the way they speak. In fact, I kind of enjoy the fact that people come from a lot of different backgrounds, and whether it's a very rural or whatever it might be, and don't worry about it too much to some extent. But those things like that jump out at people who know the difference, and things like magazine versus clip jump out in a big way into the ears of people who know the difference. So again, if that doesn't bother you, don't worry about it. And forget everything I have said in this Hickok 45 Talks video, like you normally do, right? Life is good.